Welcome. Today, we deliver a strategic deep dive into the evolutionary divergence of humanoid robotics and 3D printing. We will analyze why the current tech cycle is shifting from a universality hype toward a, quote, local plateau of specialized industrial productivity. To start with our bottom line up front, humanoid robotics is currently operant as specialized high-redundancy automation. Our research indicates that commercial success is no longer a matter of general intelligence, but of industrial anchoring. At HDIN, we believe the industry's survival depends on reaching a $30,000 BOM threshold by 2028. Historically, technologies like 3D printing and humanoids were sold on the promise of, quote, distributive universality. One aimed to democratize manufacturing, the other to democratize labor. However, both have faced the same antinomy. The broader the promise, the harder the industrial landing. Benchmarking the two industries reveals a stark maturity gap. Humanoids are currently at the, quote, peak of inflated expectations, fueled by speculative premiums. Conversely, 3D printing has survived its crash and reached a, quote, productivity plateau, serving as the industrial blueprint for how robotics must now transition to high ROI specifics. State will has become the primary fuel for this sector. China is aggressively pursuing a vertical supply chain hedge with over $4 billion in special funds. Meanwhile, the U.S. is leveraging its defense and NASA budgets to maintain a strategic lead in algorithmic brain models and deep space autonomy. The primary complication is the context deficit. While lab demos suggest versatility, robots today lack social logic. They fail in unscripted, high-context human environments. This realization is forcing the industry to retreat into highly structured industrial zones where the world can be reduced to atomic scripts. Hardware entropy remains a critical bottleneck. Our reliability testing shows that current high-density hand actuators fail within 1,500 hours, far short of the 15,000 hours required for industrial shifts. Without a leap in mechanical durability, the maintenance debt will continue to swallow operational ROI. Geopolitics has created a dual-standard ecosystem. Export controls on high-performance GPUs and precision actuators are slowing global iteration. HDIN research advises that companies must now optimize their bill of materials for specific market blocks, either Western or Chinese, before reaching full-scale production. We also face a data wall. Unlike large language models that scrape text, robots require physical embodiment data generated through expensive teleoperation. For mid-sized firms, the cost of generating 10 million hours of task-specific data is becoming a prohibitive barrier to entry. This leads to our pivotal question: how can humanoid robotics avoid the consumer butler trap? How does the industry achieve its fuel nozzle moment, the specialized high-margin anchor that proves the technology is a necessity, not a gimmick? Our answer lies in a narrow field pivot. We advocate for two pathways. Pathway A involves deployment in structured automotive assembly, and Pathway B focuses on high-cost substitution in extreme environments like nuclear decommissioning, where the cost of human risk justifies the high capital expenditure. To reach the productivity plateau, we have identified 4 key technical targets. By 2028, the industry must achieve a unit BOM under $30,000, an actuator life exceeding 15,000 hours, and real-time inference latency under 40 milliseconds. These are the non-negotiable gates for mass adoption. Tesla is the industry's vertical integration leader. By treating Optimus as a vehicle with legs and reusing FSD hardware and battery chemistries, Tesla is attempting to commoditize the robot chassis. Their goal is a $20,000 retail price, using their own superfactories as the primary testbed. Figure AI represents the brain-first strategy. Their pilot at BMW Spartanburg successfully demonstrated multi-step reasoning in sheet metal handling. By partnering with OpenAI, they are focusing on linguistic-to-motor command mapping, aiming to dominate the algorithmic layer of the value chain. In the East, speed is the differentiator. Agibot's leasing platform and UBTECH's hot swap battery standards address the immediate industrial need for 24/7 uptime. China's control over 90% of the planetary reducer cluster gives these firms a significant short-term cost hedge. Profitability is ultimately a function of ROI per square foot. Our financial models show that the target payback period must be under 16 months in a factory setting. This requires a 50% reduction in actuator costs and a 60% drop in dexterous hand pricing by 2028. Automotive assembly is the native habitat for the first ROI loops. Humanoids are solving the car cabins, performing wiring and clip installation where traditional robotic arms are too bulky. This is the first meaningful substitution of human labor at scale. In the tactical domain, humanoids are being viewed as expendable combat consumables. Their value is the ability to operate legacy hardware, rifles, and vehicles without requiring a $1 trillion redesign of the existing weapon stockpile. However, autonomous lethal decision-making remains the primary ethical bottleneck. Aerospace represents the ultimate high-value niche. In space, human survival costs over $12 million per EVA. Replacing human life support with robotic persistence yields a 10x ROI, even if the robot operates at only 30% of human speed. Here, survival substitution is the primary value driver. We must follow the GE Aviation blueprint. 3D printing survived its crash by consolidating 20 parts into one fuel nozzle. Humanoids must similarly move from doing general tasks to consolidating mechanical complexity into elegant, mass-certified, and reliable industrial units. There is a symbiotic relationship between these two industries. Additive manufacturing enables the bionic structures that robots need to stay balanced, while humanoid mass production will trigger a 400% increase in demand for industrial-grade 3D printing. They are each other's primary customers. We predict a great consolidation by 2026. Brain companies like Google and OpenAI will acquire body firms to ground their AGI in the physical world. For Series C startups, M&A will be the preferred exit strategy as the high R&D costs of hardware maintenance become unsustainable. In conclusion, the survival laws of the local plateau are clear. Specialization beats generality. Data is the only defensible asset, and the $30,000 BOM redline is absolute. 2025 is the year for proof of pilot. 2028 will be the year for proof of profit. Thank you for your time. Strategic success in the body and brain era requires granular intelligence. For full market reports and bespoke strategic advisory, please reach out to our team at sales@hdinresearch.com. We look forward to working with you.